So for this week on CyberSchool, we're talking about another product update. Those of you that are users of our SIP IP66 horn in both variants, whether the standard SIP variant or the InformaCast variant, may have noticed some differences to the web page and the actual front faceplate of the horn. Of course, not pictured here. I don't think we have any pictures of the new small hole that you'll get to the right side of the CyberData logo there. But there's been an update to the IP66 horn for both variants. It now features a new circuit board and a microphone, which adds in more capabilities such as ambient noise compensation and health check capability. So that way you can verify the horn is actually producing sound. But let's talk a little bit more about this update, where you can find it and how you can identify if your unit has been updated. So specifically with this update, it basically encompasses a brand new circuit board, kind of like what we saw with our speakers in our last edition. We updated the circuit board with it, so there'll be a little bit more about that. But we also added a microphone into the unit. It's not presently used for talkback. That may come in the future, but presently it's just used for ambient noise compensation. So that way it can compensate to the noise that is going around for the horn and adjust its volume level accordingly prior to an announcement going on. And the health check capability, which is the same feature set that we've always had on our talkback speakers that's now present in our standard SIP speaker. It's now going to be available in the IP66 horn. So a little bit more about the updated circuit board. Of course, it's going to be a more modernized circuit board. It's got a new processor on there, some additional chips on there that gives it just a little bit more capability and functionality and kind of extends the lifespan of the circuit board past what that old circuit board that we were using was capable of. Some nice features that are actually usable, that'll mean something to an actual customer as compared to our software engineers. It comes with an updated SIP stack, which is going to make it comparable to, of course, our current intercom series, as well as our IP to analog devices. So things like our outdoor intercom, our SIP paging adapter, or our SIP paging server, it's essentially got the same SIP stack. So that means it's got an improved DNS capability in addition to a whole bunch of other nice features. It comes with 2 different firmware partitions on there, so that way as you're upgrading through the different software partition or software versions, firmware versions through the lifespan of the unit, it's going to work in kind of a step-by-step process. Or if for some reason, hopefully our QA team catches it, if there's ever a bug in your environment, you can revert back to an older version without having to source it from our website and upload it. You can just click the boot from other partition button and it switches over to a different partition. This new unit, of course, since it's a more modernized design, we increased the available storage space on the board. So now there's a little bit over a gigabyte of space available. So that way, there's plenty of room for us to add new features and capabilities and grow with the board. But also, if you want to utilize things like the stored message capability of the horn itself, you've got over a gigabyte of space for different audio files that you could load on there. And of course, this is subtly noticeable to the customers, but with the improved software architecture as compared to the other variant, it's enabling us to go through and redesign some different features of the product that you'll see in future releases. It basically gives us a lot more that we can do with the board without getting into, real specifics. There's going to be a lot of cool new stuff that we're able to do because of the difference in software architecture on the board. And of course, just with a more modernized circuit board, you're getting stuff like a faster processor, more RAM capability, improved chipsets, all the good stuff that comes with a more modern circuit board. So now for the real meat or the important bit of the update comes the microphone that we added in there. So again, the 2 main features that I mentioned are going to be the ambient noise compensation and health check capability of it. For ambient noise compensation, it's pretty simple. A lot of other products in the market already do stuff like this, where basically the microphone is always just reading ambient noise level. It's basically just taking a sound pressure reading. It's just detecting the noise that's going on in the particular area if you've opted into this particular mode. And then just before an announcement, it basically locks in that current ambient noise level. And based on that and a scale that we determined, sets the volume accordingly. So that way the announcement level will be understandable in comparison to the ambient noise level. So it can be really useful in a quiet environment. It's not going to blast your ears out with, a max volume level announcement. It's going to lower its volume to compensate for that. And, as such, in a very loud environment, it's going to increase its volume level to try to be able to compensate and be heard over that high ambient noise level. So that way it can fully, compensate for that ambient noise level. It's a very literal naming to a particular setting in there. And then, of course, we're adding in the health check capability that, is kind of a standard feature for a lot of our products that feature both a microphone and a speaker, where the unit can go through and play a series of tones from the actual speaker itself and records it back with the microphone. It runs it through a very basic algorithm to just compare the recorded audio file to the original audio file and gives you basically a percentage of accuracy between those two different files, the recorded and the original, so that way you can tell the specific health of the speaker itself in the different frequency ranges that it supports. So that way you can tell, okay, it's working in the high end, not so good in the low end. Let me go and take a look at some stuff and make sure, there's nothing physically blocking or interfering, say, with the speaker itself. Or, potentially if everything fails, maybe you should reach out to CyberData tech support. That way you can see if you can get some assistance on that. Thankfully, with the way that the health check works, if for some reason, say you set your volume levels to 0, some kind of a user error in there, the health check will bypass that and play it at a standard tone level that we determine that can't be controlled, say, by some kind of a user error. So that way you're not reaching out to our tech support department for them to tell you, hey, increase your volume level off 0. You basically have your horn turned off. So that way you'll actually know if this thing fails, there might actually be a hardware problem with your unit, or say a bird nesting in the grill of the speaker itself. Presently, the microphone is not used for two-way communication. When we release the unit, we really just want to use it for ambient noise compensation and health check at this time. Talkback may come in the future. Keyword is may, not will. But that is to be determined. But thankfully, since the microphone is present, if in the future we determine that we want to enable two-way communication capability, we could just turn that on as a feature set in the device. So how can I tell if my product has been updated? Well, that's going to be for both the SIP IP66 Indoor Outdoor Horn, part number 011457, or the InformaCast Enabled IP66 Indoor Outdoor Horn, part number 011472. So unless it's either of those two products, it probably hasn't been updated. But if you do have one of those two products, you can identify it with either the specific part number of the unit itself or the serial number. For the SIP variant of the unit, the serial number will begin with 4572, followed by some particular serial number that will identify the device, and at a minimum at the present time at recording of this video, it will be part number 011457 with a hardware revision level of Bravo or B. Similarly, the InformaCast enabled variant has serial number 4722, followed by the actual informational identifiable serial number. And for the part number, it is also 011472B as in Bravo. So if you've got either of those serial numbers or that particular part number and hardware revision level, you'll be able to, of course, have that microphone. You'll also be able to identify the fact that there's a small little hole in the front in the front faceplate to the right of that CyberData logo. So finally, with this horn update, of course, there's that new circuit board that's built in there, so that it gives you a lot more capability in terms of software functionality, increased processor speed, available storage for more feature sets in the future, and a platform to grow on. It comes with that new microphone, again, for just ambient noise compensation and health check at this time. And you can check your part number or your serial number to better identify if your unit has this new microphone built into it, or just look up at it. And all of this new stuff at the same great price. We didn't want to increase the price set as we came out and added all these different additional features to the unit. We wanted to keep it at that same great price.
Thank you for watching this edition of CyberSchool. If you have any questions, please get in contact with our sales department. They are available by email at sales@cyberdata.net or by phone at 831-373-2601 extension 334. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe for more content like this from CyberData.